Right, good afternoon everybody. Today we are going to be making asparagus, mushroom and ham risotto. So first of all I'll show you the ingredients. So in here we have 140 grams of risotto rice, which you can just get from the supermarket. I normally work on about 70 grams per portion, and this is clearly for 2 people. Then we have 3 cloves of garlic and some diced red onion. That's for the stock later, that's a stock pot, vegetable stock pot, and I'll put about 1.5 pints water in there. We have some ham which I've cut into or diced up. Got some button mushrooms. We have asparagus which I've boiled for about 5 minutes, and as I said to you before, put it in cold water to cool it down so it goes cold. And then I've cut it into centimetre long slices, so there's about 125 grams of asparagus there, and there's 50 grams of ham, 100 grams of button mushrooms, and then over here we've got some cut mushrooms, which I've taken the skin off these, which I'll show you how I do them. Right, so I've got some cut mushrooms here which you can get from supermarkets. What I do, take the stalk off, just get rid of that, don't use the stalk, or I don't, and then just peel them. I'm sure you know how to peel mushrooms, but some people don't. It's a bit more time consuming, but just take the skin off and then you have your mushroom ready for preparing. As you can see, I've done these already. Now what I'm going to do with the mushrooms is I'm going to cut the cup mushrooms, as you can see I took the skin off before, into 2 different sizes. The reason for that is I want some substantial mushrooms in the risotto, so that you can actually taste a bit of mushroom, but I also want some very finely diced mushroom which will sort of blend into the sauce and just give an overall flavour. So the first one I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this as thin and as small into small dice as I can. So hopefully you can see that this is going to be really small. And that it doesn't dissolve, but it pretty much disappears within the risotto as it's cooking. So that's one size, and then the other size is, right, as you can see, they're quite big, probably I don't know, a couple of centimetres round, and then that's quite small. And as I say, that will sort of dissolve away into the risotto as you make it, whereas these will still retain their shape, along with the button mushrooms. And I've used button mushrooms because they're a bit more substantial than the other mushrooms, and just give a contrast in textures. Right, so that's the really smallly diced mushroom. They're the ones that are a little bit bigger, so that's all ready. And then the final ingredient will be mascarpone, which will go in towards the end of the cooking process, but I'll explain that while I'm cooking it. Right, so the first thing we need to do is get some olive oil, a little bit of olive oil in a pan. Just heat that up. We're going to add the onion. Now, get the onion started before you add the garlic, because what you don't want to do is burn the garlic when you add it to the pan. So add the onion, that'll cool it down slightly. Take your temperature down, you don't want it too hot. Because we're not trying to colour these onions, we're just trying to soften them. Because what you don't want is to impart a burnt sort of flavour or caramelised flavour. Well, not after that, we just want soft onions and just impart a slight oniony flavour. Right, so that's cooled down a little bit. Put your garlic in, and then just give this a couple of minutes. Just until it starts to soften. Put it all together. Right, so there we go, so that's softened up nicely. Get your rice, just turn that around slightly so you get some heat into the rice. You don't want to add your water too soon. Right, so now you get your stock, which, as I said before, just a stock pot with about 1.5 pints of water. And all I'm going to do is just cover the rice. Okay. That's it. Cover the rice, turn it down. You don't want it boiling away like that. That's just that hot because the pan was hot, but that'll cool down slightly. And just let that. You basically add in the water to try and cook the rice, and as soon as the water disappears you'll add some more water. And as I said before, it's a slow process, but it does give a lovely risotto. Just got a bit more water. Okay. Now while that's doing, what I want to do is just sweat in butter, sweat off the butter mushrooms, and so I'm just going to turn this on. See how that's just slightly bubbling? So that's what you want. So a knob of butter in the pan, and then get your butter mushrooms into the pan, and all you do is just sweating these off with a bit of salt and pepper. I don't know what you know about salt, but when you add salt to something, it brings out the flavour of whatever it is you're adding the salt to. So you don't want to be tasting salt, but as I say, if you add salt, it brings out the flavour of the carrot or the cabbage or the rice or whatever it might be that you're cooking. Right, see how that water's nearly disappeared, so now we just need to add some more. And we just got to keep doing this, as I say, for about 18 to 20 minutes. So at the moment, all I've got in here is onions, garlic and rice with some stock that is being absorbed into the rice. So that's the butter mushroom started sweating up, and I'm going to add the other big bits of mushroom that I showed you before. Just add them in and get them covered in butter and just cook them down, so that when I add them to here, they'll be cooked. I'm filming, yes.
Hello everybody.
Kim's coming. Again, just a little bit more water. Right, those mushrooms are ready, so that can be turned off and just leave them in the pan. What you find is because you're adding the water slowly, it gives it a much more nutty flavour to the rice. And what you're looking for when it's cooked is you want a little bit of bite. You don't want soft rice, you need a bit of bite with the risotto. Right, at this point, remember all those tiny bits of mushroom? I'm going to put these in so they can start to blend in and add flavour along with the stock. There's still a little water there, but not too much. That's when you need to be putting some more water in. Just a little bit of salt, and a little bit of pepper. When it's getting close, you need to taste a little bit of the rice, just a few little grains, just to see whether it's got the good bounce, and that doesn't seem too bad at all. It's not far off at all, that. I'll just keep it going, put the water, because you can see there's still some moisture there, isn't there? To get rid of that. Add the asparagus, and the ham. A tiny bit more water. And what you're doing by adding the ham and the asparagus, if nothing else, is giving it a bit of colour and contrast. And the rest of the mushrooms. Right, so I'm just trying to get rid of all the moisture before I add the mascarpone sauce. Hot plates out of the oven. Always have hot plates with hot food. Nice. Now, I don't know if you can see that. Just look at how much moisture is there. There's not very much at all. And that's the time to add the mascarpone. And what the mascarpone does, it just gives the risotto a creamy texture. So that's what you want. Spoonful. A wooden spoonful of mascarpone. Okay, so the mascarpone, just keep stirring it in. And it gives it a lovely, creamy, cheesy flavour. Lovely. Once that's heated up, we are pretty much ready to serve. So this is asparagus, mushroom and ham risotto with mascarpone sauce. And as I said before, the important thing is don't add the water too quickly, just let it do its job, slowly, slowly, and you end up with a lovely risotto with a nutty rice with a bit of a bite to it. And there we go. Here is the finished article, risotto with mushrooms, asparagus and ham, and some lovely crusty bread. And on top we put some parmesan shavings, and a bit of grated parmesan. There we go. Enjoy.